Thanks for staying with us. So we're discussing cheating so far, and we're looking at different angles. And, you know, we're just talking about how do you manage a relationship when a spouse cheats. Now, many people have always accused us that anytime we talk about cheating, you're always focusing on the men cheating. But we found a lot of women, Nigerian women especially, are cheating.
Ew.
Trust me, we have seen plenty of them in our DMs. Give us all the reasons in the world why it was important for them to leave their spouses, because the man was either, all these politicians, some of their wives have left, they're busy traveling to Abuja, going to London. Mommy is being sorted out by either somebody or somebody, you know? So we get these messages, and it's quite interesting that a lot of women are actually cheating. Now, talking about cheating, as a woman, if you cheat, many women don't like to cheat, but it just so happens that you cheat. Should you confess that you cheat? Because about your mistake, you know, maybe the man was just trying to be nice to you for something or the other. I mean, it's just crazy. This Abuja that I went to, I was really, really disgusted about how a lot of guys would say, are you married? I was like, I got 4 kids, honey, leave me alone. You know, all they say, you don't look like I'm married. I'm like, yeah, right. You know, what kind of foolish pickup line is that? At what age? Look at me head to the tail. You don't look like I'm married. Like, please, I'm not a child. You know, all that, and they are men. They look very responsible. They'll just come and greet you. Hello, how are you? People say, where do you work? They'll not show you your card, one big company. That's it. I say, I'm freaking 43 years old. I'm not going to be tripping because of your company. Are you okay? Well, you have yours. So they are just, you know, so we see all these things, but some people just, maybe their husband haven't really laughed with them in a long time, or they haven't had a connection. And then you go for maybe a training, and some guy just comes to you and just starts chatting you up, and you enjoy the company, exchange cards. Once in a while, he says hello, you meet up, you run, you know. Once in a while, 1 year, your friends, 2nd year, something happens to your husband, he's there to comfort you. Bada bing, bada bang, something's happened. And then you're in a relationship. Now, you as a woman, I'm painting a scenario, please follow me. You as a woman, you enjoy it, but you know it is wrong. So because you have a family, you stop it. So maybe you did it for like a year. You stop it. And you're done, dusted. Delete the guy's number, don't come again, we're done. And you move on to your family. And you guys are going on. Should you confess to your husband, maybe a year after you've broken up, or 2 years after that? Did you know that?
Why? His life...
Wait, because you as a woman...
I'm hearing you. Was it a situation where it says if you don't confess right now, the man is about to die?
As a woman, you just feel that you just feel guilty.
So I'm just giving you a scenario where it has to be that the man his life is going. My life is going. Confess. Because I just don't think it makes any sense to confess. You have moved on. You have, you know, done and dusted, and you're now concentrating on your family. So if you had said, in the course of this relationship, something is something is missing in the marriage, that your husband has sat you down and said, what is happening? It's different from when it is done and dusted, and you have recalibrated yourself, you are back to proper setting, realizing you have done something wrong, and you're putting in your hardest, making sure that you are, you know, you're facing your marriage. I would not advise that you open up. That's my personal opinion.
But as guilty as a wife, you might feel guilty, like, you know, because they tell you open conversations, talk to your husband, you know, pour out your heart, empty yourself, and you're in church and God is speaking to you. And
if you're Catholic, please talk to the priest.
To you. And the Holy Spirit now ministers to you that if you don't confess your sin, you know, that next promotion.
So who?
It's not just to you, to God, though. You confess to God, you confess to man. That man that you have cheated on, because that's what they tell you in church now.
Do men confess to women? So most times men don't confess anything. Is in our searching, you know, a woman would find out what a man is doing. He would have done and dusted and moved on and recalibrated his mind and decided to. So I think in situations like this, but you know, there are some very mature couples. They are able to sit down and talk about everything. So you need to know the sort of relationship that you have. I know there are some couples that discuss everything. They discuss from the moment it starts, the attraction, the fact that when I'm in the presence of this person, I feel a certain way. And if they did not get to do, they will tell you almost everything. And that is how they work it out. In fact, these couples find it much more, what upsets them the most is that they found out something you didn't share with them. So if that is your situation, then you know, so you know, with relationships, different strokes for different folks. If that is your relationship, then do that. There are some men that will even tell you from the get-go, don't tell me, I don't want to know. And you already know that this person, as long as you have moved on from it, we're moving ahead. It's not that I caught you. I don't even want to ever hear about your past. In fact, those people will say, I don't even want to hear about your ex-relationships. I don't want to hear about the people you were with before you met me. That is the sort of person you're married. And then you decide, I would like to unburden myself before you. Then you will bear the consequences. Because I've had conversations like this, actually, where someone says, you are unburdening yourself, not because you feel sorry about what you did, but because you're unable to live with your guilt. So it's really still about you.
Yes.
You're being selfish to this relationship that you know cannot handle the fact that I am hearing you say you were in a relationship. So you need to know who it is that your partner you're dealing with. And it works for both men and women.
Why are you confessing?
So that's what I'm saying. As a woman, so let's look at the different kinds of women. There's a women that can, you know what, they don't care and move on. But there's some women that feel like, I feel like I hurt this man. Every single day I look at his face.
I feel
guilty. And I want to be free from this guilt. So I want to open up my heart and tell him the truth, hoping that he'll forgive me and then we move forward.
Beautiful. You want to be free from the guilt. Have you asked how he will be after he receives the burden you are placing on him? So sometimes we're just very selfish, like she just rightly mentioned. You will now want to relieve yourself of the burden of that guilt, because guilt is very heavy. You relieve yourself and you hand it over to somebody who will not carry it and be moving and falling under the guilt. So you have to ask yourself, what is the intention behind my confession? And if you're really that person who has a conscience, you will not go for 1 year. I don't understand. 1 year, 1 full year, you go out, you collect, you come back, you look at him in the face, you say, I love you. Tomorrow you go out, you collect again, you come back, you look at for 1 whole year, and you say you have conscience? No, you don't have conscience. Let me tell you.
Your husband is a politician.
Listen, let me
paint the story well. You are looking at a man, a nice man who is home and taking care of family. No, he's not that kind of person.
A man who is not there.
This man is hardly around. He's with Governor XYZ or meeting. He's traveling to London, they're in Japan, everything. And you are Mrs. Elijah, whatever, in the house, doing everything. And you now do something with somebody.
But he comes back now.
Once in a while, maybe once every 3 weeks.
Let me paint this scenario for you as well. The Japa families, someone is abroad and someone is at home here in Nigeria. You're hardly ever there. And the man, let's say the man is in Nigeria, but also really busy. Time difference and everything. So even communication is a bit wonky. And then this happens. It's able to happen because this person is not constantly in your face. So it's happened for a protracted. So what do you...
We have seen even when the person is in your face, it happened for 2 years, 3 years. We have seen that. So this scenario that you just painted now, but you make calls. Even if you speak to him once in a month, you had a relationship for 1 year, 2 years, but we talk on phone every month.
Every day.
We ask each other questions. How are the kids doing? How is it? You could not mention to me that you have been knacking somebody else.
How is that possible?
You do not have a conscience. Listen, let me tell you how it works for women who really have a conscience. The first time it happens, they will not sleep. They will not have peace. They would, if they have not spoken to their husband, they will either find a sister to confide in, or they are doing the confession. Even the man will notice that something is wrong with you. And from conversation, it comes out. That's a woman that has a conscience. That's a woman who made a mistake. You don't make a mistake for 1 year, 2 years. You don't make that kind of, that's not a mistake. You had enjoyed yourself. You were now probably either tired of it, or it's no longer, you have lost the novelty of that feeling, and you now want to go back and reboot. You now go and confess to somebody. No.
You're not getting
I got it.
Hold on, I'll come back to you. Let me take Otumba. Otumba, Olukaye, thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, I think you guys are having a very nice conversation there. I'm enjoying it in my office. Just like one of your person there has just said, you need to...
Don't listen to the TV. Please come talk to me.
Kind of partner before you release any form of information.
I have to disconnect the call. He's listening to the TV and it's delayed here. I was going to say something. You see, you're looking at a woman who went out because maybe she cheated on her husband. This woman I'm talking about is not a woman who cheats. She loves her husband. For whatever reason, the man wasn't available for different reasons. He could be living abroad or something, and she loves him, and she has needs. You know how we say, I have needs. Those needs are not being met for a while. And then she goes for a training where she meets a guy. And that's happened. And because there's supposed to be a fling. Then fling now became something that suddenly she lights up and she's like, oh my goodness, those feelings still exist. And gradually she does it, but after a while, because of her guilt, she stops it. Because she really loves her husband and her children.
Yes,
I'm not saying that that woman, the women, and the reason she's confessing is because she just feels like, yeah, I want to be left. I want to be open and with this, but I don't want to lie to him anymore. The question is, should a woman who cheated confess? And you said she should move on. You are saying, should she cheat? Should she confess or should not confess?
So first of all, I'm actually dodging this.
Should she confess or not confess?
Wait, now. You need to understand who you are confessing to. I've seen relationships scatter based on dream. The man dreamt that the woman was with another man and woke up the next day and said, come and pack your mood. I saw you in the dream and you have started cheating on me. There was nothing that solved that relationship. It just scattered. So that kind of man, what are you confessing? Except you're ready to pack your things and go. There are men that are understanding. They would have a conversation. You may have told them your past. You were this, that, and it didn't matter to them. They just say, whatever it is, we can walk it through. If you have that kind of man, if you have liver, confess. But before you confess, ask yourself, if this man chooses not to forgive me, am I ready to leave this situation? You must have that conversation with yourself. Am I ready to really, because confession comes with consequences. It's like when you do, there's this thing they do as sinners, when you want to pay, is it penance? There's another word, I remember.
Contrition?
Yes, something like that you do, that you must follow the consequences. So you ask yourself, am I ready for this relationship to crumble? Penance. If I confess to this and he says, let's work it out, am I ready to work and gain my trust?
Okay,
because it's a lot of work to gain that trust back, especially with a man. Some people will say, we're not doing. Others will say, okay, but now you have to be telling me anywhere you're going to. I have to be checking your phone. I have to do this. Some life adjustments will happen. Are you ready?
For that. Let me take Roman. Good morning, Roman. Are you there? You're live.
Yes, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so the discussion you're going on with is actually a very profitable one for the populace. It's good.
I need volume, please.
I like the topic. Yes, well done about that.
Thank you.
The person in the studio who just spoke, I don't know her name. She seemed to be more extreme with her views, because I believe this discussion has an intention. So what is the intention? Is it for people to just keep on hiding their guilt, keep on hiding what they've done wrong in the past? Because if we're ready to bring up a discussion that would help people come out, we should also help them find peace for coming out, even if their intention is wrong. As a coach, as a life coach, we should be able to help them have the right intention so that the reason and ecological outcome from the whole confession and discussion should come out. But I seem to have had been so extreme to the point where I feel people will run away instead of even coming, whether they have right decision or not. Because we should be able to accommodate everybody, regardless of their view, regardless of their intention, so that we will help them have a better society. Because I can't live with the guilt, of course, with my partner if anything happens. I should be able to come and tell them. Now, if a discussion like this is going on, and I'm finding this platform as a reason to say, let me go and confess, and I'm having myself being open to the tendencies of the counselor or the life coach pounding on me, it makes me hide.
Thank you, Roman. I get the point. So that's why we have different perspectives. Mariam had a different view. Yeah. Bisi had a different view. So that's what that's what we need. A conversation where you see different perspectives and you choose the one that most appeals to you and you learn from others. So some people might actually prefer Bisi's views. Others could be more aligned to be Mariam's views. Anyways, going back to this conversation, because you see, as I said, these conversations are often based on conversations we get from different people or comments we get from different people, and they want to also address it. So you're going to say something.
You know, I think BC took us to the point where what you need to do after a confession has been done. And for me, I don't think it's necessarily after a confession. So for me, you start to address what you've done. It does not necessarily have to be after a confession. It comes when you have acknowledged that what you've done is wrong. So even if I do not come to you and confess with my mouth what I've done, I am checking myself. I'm making sure I'm home on time. I'm making sure I've deleted all the numbers, you know. So that happens even if I do not speak to you about it. And it shows that, so the work that I need to do for my marriage to revive my marriage, I don't have to do it after only you are telling me to do it. Do you understand? It shows that I am ready to work on my marriage. It's not because I've now confessed to him and he has said, okay, do this and do that. It's good, it happens, but if I can do it myself, that shows sincerity, you know, that I'm ready for I'm willing to work on my marriage. See, some relationships.
Okay, hold it for a minute. Good morning, Yakub, you live.
Yeah, good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I totally agree with Obi this morning because, Morayo, see, if a woman wants to confess, you need to ask herself a question that, what if I did this? At the end of the day, as Obi said earlier, the man has said, okay, you have done all this. I don't think I can bear it. So where is she going to start from? That's the question. Because it is very, very difficult, especially for women. A woman can just let it go. In fact, I can tell you, even some women knew that their man did all this kind of thing. But
yeah, cool.
they always pretend as if they don't know. Why? Why? Because they want to save their marriage. But a man, Morayo, I'm telling you from the experience, I personally cannot condone that. You dare not confess. I don't want to know. You get it? Because I knew myself that I cannot bear such. I can't bear it. So don't confess.
Yakub, let me ask you a question.
You dare not.
Have you ever cheated on your wife? Yakub, have you ever cheated on your wife?
When I've never done that, I've never done that because my wife, I'm a Muslim, my wife knew that I can get another wife.
So you have two wives. I know you have two wives,
yes,
right?
Yes, I can marry. Yes, in fact, I can plan to do that any moment from now. She knows. You get it.
Wait, Yakub, calm down. I know you have two wives. Are you trying to get a third wife?
I can do that. If I have capacity to have, sorry, I need to correct this thing. I didn't have two wives for now. I have one.
Oh, okay.
You get it. But presently, I'm planning to do another one.
Okay.
You get it. Yes.
Now, my question, Yakub, therefore, calm down, Yakub. We're having a conversation. Calm down. Now, you have a first wife. You're hoping to have a second wife. My question is, to get the second wife, did you cheat on the first wife? Or just like we're arranging number two to just come?
No, what really happened is this. See, as a Muslim,
I know.
Hold on, Morayo, hold on. As a Muslim, since I had this in my mind that I have it in plan, I needed to tell her that, come, this is what I want to do. The only thing is this. She needed to know the kind of person that person is.
Okay.
You get it? And then I made her know the person. You get it? This is the person. Are you getting it? But she was like telling me that I hope this one is not going to come and destroy the home. I said, leave that for me. I know how to handle that. Okay. You get it? Right. So basically what I'm trying to say is that as a woman, you don't need to. If you dare confess first to me, you are gone. That is it. You are gone because I cannot bear such. I know the kind of person I am. I can bear it. So just keep it to yourself. Ask for forgiveness from God Almighty Allah. If you want to forgive you, so that's it.
I like that.
Thank you, Yakub.
I like it because you know who you're dealing with. Yeah. And then you know that because there are some people who also confess because they hope it makes you jealous. They hope they would elicit some sort of feelings from you. You know, especially that scenario that you painted, which is this person is even in a marriage where she's not getting what she wants from the husband. And she's hoping, do you see how far I went? Because you are not there. So maybe if I tell you, it will make you sit up. Yeah. For some people, it will work, it will sit up. But God help you if you say Yakub. That's the end of the story.
I'd like to ask you ladies a question.
She's about to
question, but you don't have to respond.
Yeah, your own.
I'll just say, if you don't want to respond, it's okay.
I wish you don't ask it.
Don't ask it, right?
Just move on.
Let's move on. I wanted to find out if your spouse is aware of your past.
Oh. Well, to some degree. Okay. Because I think for us, it's because we're friends first. So we're gisting I'm aware of his past, of some, you know, to a certain degree. In fact, recently, I was like, ha, Miriam, you don't gist anymore. I'm like, what gist? I have no gist. My gist started with you, and that's it, you know, so, and in fact, sometimes he would call some names from my past to tease me about it, and we laugh about it the same that I do for him. So there are some things that you can talk about. Of course, it's not every single detail. Some things are not necessary. Honestly, if you really think about it, it makes no sense.
Some details in your past are not necessary.
Yes, they're not necessary, yes. And even in his past, there are some things I don't need to know. I don't want to know. I mean, what would be the aim? What am I supposed to do? To go to bed and think about it and ruminate, you know? So I just feel that there are some things that can be shared and some things you just don't need to.
We started dating when we were basically teenagers.
Yeah, so,
so
you have no past.
Who told you I had no past? Don't
Before
go
the teenage years?
Yes, now.
Or during the
teenage years, you know, so I had, and I just said, you know, we were friends we dated for 6 years, so we were friends for a long time and all that, and he will even be teasing me, because I threatened him. I told him, if you travel out and you don't marry me, I won't wait around. So today he will tell me that, oh, there was no guy toasting you at the time. So I shared what I thought was necessary to share. It doesn't mean I have to share everything. I don't subscribe to sharing everything. Just sometimes it's okay to also protect yourself as a person.
Interesting. Let me take this call from Grace. Good morning, Grace. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Thanks for calling. You're live.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Like, you don't even know what I'm going through right now. This is a man I'm married for how many years, trusting him, believing him, go extra mile for him. For these days, I discovered that this man is cheating on me, collecting my food, giving to those people that in the name of I want to help them. Even in one part of it, there is a lady from Lagos that is a married woman. She'll come to Abuja and deceive her family there, and he's telling me he's his friend. It looks good, and when I discover over 1 month now, it's like, I don't know what to do. I want to tear him up. You know, like where I come from, when you begin to approach a man and you say, okay, where is the evidence? Where is this? At the end of the day, the same people decide to know that, okay, if you want to go, and they'll bring another woman in. Because of this, my children.
Thank you very much, Grace. See, I like Grace sharing that with us, because that's part of the story. That's one of the reasons why we have these conversations, because she's in that situation now. Now, the question is, do you leave or do you stay? Now, if she stays, how does she get peace of mind? How can she remove herself from what this man is doing? And how are we excusing the man from doing it? How do we call him to order where you stay with his family? You know, these are the dynamics of a Nigerian home, many Nigerian homes where women are having to deal with these kind of issues. So someone will say, who tells you when a man goes out is cheating? It's not Oyinbo man that told you he's cheating. A man is polygamous. They're allowed to. So yeah, you know, it's not Oyinbo man that gave you the word cheating. Is there any word like cheating in Yoruba? Yes, there's Nyali, right? But
in the Bible, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yeah, well, okay, scrap that.
Okay,
Scrap that. The point I'm trying to make is that people will tell you that in our culture, there's nothing like cheating because men can be polygamous, and society accepts that. So when you tell yourself, he's cheating on me, you are the one putting that burden on yourself. You are the Grace now is going on, she's going through that stress. But the man is moving on. So the question is, what does a Grace do?
Okay, so it's from different angles. If Grace was a Muslim, she would rationalize it and say he's polygamous and allowed to, you know, have others apart from me. And she'll be able to rationalize it. She will have support groups that will help her through what she's going through. But being Nigerian and if also a Christian, where she may get empathy and support is from people that will say, that's how they all are. Just concentrate on yourself and your work and your children. And, you know, when he's tired, he'll come home. You are the main one. So they give you those words. You are the main one at home. But in doing that, we acknowledge other things, but refuse to acknowledge the emotional distress that this person is under. Yeah. Knowing that when my husband walks out of my house, he's going into the arms of another woman. Knowing that the money that we've put aside, that usually would have gone this far, has to be reduced because he has to pay some bills somewhere else. And this is not someone who has worked, with us, who has helped to build our family. This is someone who has sole reason just to take from our family. So that person is so aggrieved. The way the older people will tell you is pray about it. One, focus on yourself, tune it out, focus on yourself, your business, your career. And for that period, that's if you've decided I want to work through it, because there are different ways to do this. You're saying, you know what, this is my husband. I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to work at my marriage. And it means there is no divorce. There's no stepping out of this marriage. I'm not going to cheat back because he's cheating. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be strong. And I'll prove to him why our marriage needs to work. So you will do a lot of work. You'll be hurting while you're doing it, but you have to do the work. Then there are some people who say, you know what, this is just too much of a problem for me. I cannot deal. I will step up. But you have to be sure that you're willing and ready for whatever decision that you take.
Let me take Amin from Port Harcourt. Good morning, Amin. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, first of all, this is a very good topic.
Thank you.
And before you did this or that, you must be able to know the type of man whom you are dealing with.
Right.
Because this may cause a problem in your home. Let me tell you, men are more jealous in terms of marriage than women. And women, most of the time, they may only cry, wipe their tears, and let go. But for men who are really jealous, they dare not take that shit from you.
Uncle.
They dare not take that shit.
Don't TV.
So they can only cry.
He's used to rock the word.
I say that.
Let's go on a break.
Uncle is warning every female.
Don't try it.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.